wicket maiden and the wicket of Paul Sterling, the danger man. Whenever you play against Ireland, whenever you play against Middlesex, Paul Sterling is that one wicket that you want. He can really do some damage. Plenty of batting to come. Kevin O'Brien, as you said earlier, the hero of Bangalore. Been around a long, long time, is Kevin O'Brien.
.55 for one then in the 13th over, just about to start that now. Here comes Plunkett. Runs for Porterfield, one at least anyway around the corner. Onus and these two now to stay together. Just build things after that nice platform. And this is the way that Sterling got out.
Yeah, just to build up a pressure, that's what you have to do when you get on a surface that's pretty good for batting. Build up the pressure with dot balls, with hitting a length over and over again, then you force the batsman to try and force his hand.
And there's a run, at least 1-2 for Bernie to get him off the mark. I just thought for a second there that Archer maybe lost it in the background. He was a little late going to ground, but he held on very well, got his hands and his fingers underneath the ball to complete the catch. Big tall man as well, got down very well.
We saw an outstanding catch from Jofra Archer. I think it was all over social media, might have been in the Big Bash. Taking a couple of caught and bowled as well, and some out on the boundary. That's good from Plunkett. The batsmen go on the top of off stump. Not often that you don't go at the top of off stump for anyone, really. Every meeting you have, every team discussion generally always comes back to top of off. Speed, keep an eye on that. 85.3 miles per hour that time.
England building towards the World Cup. They are the #1 ranked team, just ahead of India, and the World Cup favourites. Still places up for grabs. Ireland, sadly from their point of view, not contesting the World Cup. A bit too wide, yeah. So wide. The World Cup reduced to 10 teams this year, much to Ireland's chagrin. Tried hard to qualify in Zimbabwe, lost out to Afghanistan and the West Indies. Bernie, that's a single to Ireland's total. Suggestion that if William Porterfield ever did step down as the Irish captain, that Val Bernie might be the man to take over.
There's some big cricket coming up for Ireland though as well, isn't it? You think that Will Porterfield will just try and hang on just for that little bit longer, try and
claiming it's out. Sounded like a noise there, okay. Just wonder, are they going to review this? Yeah, they're going to review it. I heard a noise.
Yeah, I guess. Well, the question is,
review for caught
is
behind
it off the thigh pad or off the glove?
Not out. Can I see the front foot, please? Yes, fair delivery. Spin V in place. Looks like from the gloves. Can I go to the front,
review
please?
it. I heard a noise.
I guess. Well, the question is,
review for caught
is it
behind
off the thigh pad or off the glove?
Not out. Can I see the Fallon? Can you stop the batsman? He's walking. Yes. So there's spikes. When ball next to the gloves. Yeah. Go back to the on-field umpire. Yes. Fair delivery. What's your decision? Spin V in place. The gloves on your screen. Go ahead. Looks like the gloves.
Well, Porterfield goes for 17.60.
I heard a noise.
Well, the question is,
off
the thigh pad or off the glove?
Not out. Can you see the Fallon? Can you stop the batsman? He's walking. Yes. So there's spikes. When ball next to the gloves. Yeah. Go back to the on-field umpire. Yes. Fair delivery. What's your decision? Spin V in place. The gloves on your screen. Go ahead.
Well, Porterfield goes to 17.62.
Heard the noise.
Well, the question is,
Yeah, go back to the on-field umpire. Yes, fair delivery, what's your decision? Spin wheel in place, the gloves, you're on screen.
Continues.
Good slide. The gloves.
well, Porterfield goes to 17.62.
Heard the noise. Man, Lorcan Tucker on debut.
Well, the question is,
This is first single after the dismissal of William Porterfield. Went through all the rigmarole of checking the front foot and whether he nicked it and all that was going on. William Porterfield said, "I'm out, I nicked it," and walked off.
yeah, he was off before the decision came
Yeah.
to tell him.
You could hear the umpire saying, "Stop him, stop him, stop him." He was gone.
I don't like that.
So Ireland, after that promising start, 55 without loss, and now 61 for 2. And Lorcan Tucker, the new man, one of 3 debutants in the Irish team. The 22-year-old from Dublin plays for Leinster Lightning, wicketkeeper batsman. Made 81 last week for Leinster in a win over the Northern Knights in La Manga. He also played on the Ireland Wolves tour of Sri Lanka, scoring a century out there. So probably right and proper that he gets a debut. Big appeal. Huge appeal. Referee Paul, or umpire I should say, Paul Reynolds. Referee, wrong game. Umpire Paul Reynolds, the Irishman, decides that's not out.
There's a run given, so suggesting back. There was a few noises as it hit the pad.
Suggestion might be a bit high.
There's no bat.
No bat at all. What are we doing for height? Half a stride forward.
The only thing that would have saved him was height. Planted that front foot right across. That's what you have to be so careful of as a right-hander, as a left-hander, anyone. That front foot falling across, height is what saves him. Umpire's call. The bowlers start, their eyes start to light up once you see that front pad come across.
What are we doing for height?
Planting down middle stump, even on that time around off stump. You see Ben
Half a
Folks
stride
there
forward.
saying, yeah, maybe height. The only thing that would have saved him was height. Planted that front foot right across. That's what you have to be
we could hear that.
so careful of as a right-hander, as a
Morgan's
left-hander,
suggesting
anyone. That
folks
front
that
foot falling across,
maybe height
is what saves him. Umpire's
Umpire
call.
Reynolds, he got one spot on.
The bowlers start, their eyes start to light up.
So rebuilding
once you
work
see
to do
that
for
front
Ireland.
pad come across.
What are we doing for height? The opener's gone.
Planting down middle
Porterfield,
stump, even on that time
17,
around
starting
off
for 33.
You see
Half
Ben
a
Folks
stride
there
forward.
saying, yeah, maybe height.
Bernie and the debutant Tucker crease.
The only thing that would have saved him was height. Planted that front foot right across. That's what you have to be
we could hear that.
so careful of as a right-hander, as a
Morgan's
left-hander,
suggesting
anyone. That
folks
front foot falling across,
maybe height
is what saves him. Umpire's
Umpire
call.
Reynolds, he got one spot on.
The bowlers start, their eyes start to light
So
up.
rebuilding
once
work
you
to
see
do
that
for
front
Ireland.
pad come across.
What are we doing for height? The opener's gone.
Planting down middle
Porterfield,
stump, even on that time
17,
around
starting
off
for 33.
You see Ben
Half a
Folks
stride
there saying,
forward.
yeah, maybe height.
Bernie and the debutant
Couple of
Tucker
balls just shows how good Tom Curran has been. Outside as this saved him. The pressure that he was able to do it against Sterling, right across. That's what you have to be around that. So careful of
Hitting
as a
the
stickers on the
left-hander,
bat. As a batsman, you have to try and find something. Falling across,
Maybe
force is
height.
what saves him.
line and length,
That's all he tries to do.
spot on.
That twist, their eyes start to light up.
Rebuilding work to do for Ireland.
Pad come across.
What are we doing for height?
The
Opener's gone.
Sterling and the
Porterfield,
stump, even on that
17,
around
starting for
off stump.
33.
You see Ben
Half a
Folks
stride
there saying,
forward.
yeah, maybe height.
Bernie and the debutant very good catch. Tucker.
balls. It shows how good Tom Curran has been. So he's saved him. The pressure that he was able to deal against Sterling, just hitting a left, you have to be so careful of hitting the stickers on the bat. As a batsman, you have to try and find something. Falling across,
Maybe
force his straight line and length. That's what he tries to do.
Down the wicket.
That twist.
Archer rebuilding work to Ireland. He lost in the background. Dive forward as soon as he got his fingers on the 17, starting for 33. Completed the catch. First Irish wicket to go down. Curran to complete the 14th over. Ireland should nick a couple here. It's nicely placed by Balbirnie. Big cry of no between himself and Tucker at the end of 14. Ireland have moved on to 64 for 2.
Liam Plunkett starts his third over. And they drag themselves back into this. It was a good start from the two Irish openers, particularly the aggressive Paul Sterling put Jofra Archer under a lot of pressure on his debut. Balbirnie and young Tucker on debut. They've just got to suck it up a little bit. Tom Curran particularly, as Rob Key was highlighting, has found a lovely length for this pitch. Catch it, but that would have been a difficult one for Plunkett in his follow-through.
Yeah, he's a good fielder, Liam Plunkett. Always a return catch. He's gone cross-seam for this delivery. To really stretch down, it's always difficult, as you say, having to change direction.
A little bit on offer for the seam. There's a little bit of nibble, and there was a little bit of swing for David Willey early on, but by and large the batsman can certainly hit through the line on this pitch. A couple of batsmen have been saved on the LBW by a little bit of extra bounce, but it's slow bounce. It's like tennis ball bounce, because when the ball has gone through to Ben Folkes, the keeper, I can't remember him taking one above knee high. It sort of dies as it goes through, so no real pace, no real demons, but with England banging out the length, just got to try and get Plunkett and particularly Curran off that length. That's the wrong line. It's a little bit easy for Tucker as he picks up his first boundary in ODI cricket.
Yeah, easy pickings for Tucker. He looks to go leg side anyway. It's just a nice, easy work down to leg side.
In the air, simple catch, extra cover. That's perhaps just a little example of the slight tennis ball bounce on this pitch.
Yeah, and the slowness off the surface. Threw his shot early. And a simple catch for the England captain.
So from 55 without loss, Ireland now find themselves 70 for 3 after 14 overs and 5 balls.
Yeah. Just fix it up every ball. That's too late.
Brian N is up here in the commentary box with us. Brian K is now out in the middle with a bit of a rebuilding job to do for Ireland. 55 without loss, becoming 55 for 1, 60 for 2 and 70 for 3 with the dismissal of Lorcan Tucker in his first innings for Ireland in ODI cricket. 134 matches though for Kevin O'Brien. Slip in place, that's Root. O'Brien is away in fine style. The outfield is slow, but such is the timing. That has gone for 4. What a way to get off the mark.
Well, it was the sound of the bat, wasn't it? You knew straight away that that was going to fly away. Gets his head right over the ball. Just a punch.
Sterling played a couple of cracking drives off either foot, but none better than a backward punch from Kevin O'Brien to the first ball he faced. Gary Wilson playing his 100th ODI in next, then George Dockrell. George Dockrell's batting has improved immeasurably, hence he's batting a lot higher up the order now. A very, very important time, the next 10 or so overs for Ireland.
Yeah, plenty of experience in the middle there. A real mixture of youth and experience. 3 debutants today for Ireland. Wanted to play down a lot straighter, and just the nature of the surface. It's that risk reward, isn't it? If you pitch it up, there's that risk of you being driven down the ground, which we saw with Jofra Archer. Maybe a little bit more pace, ball coming on a bit more in the first 10 overs. That one just perhaps slowness off the surface brought about the dismissal.
5-2. They're certainly going to try and come back. The throw was a little bit wide. Folks had to come away from the stumps. Morgan Land doing the fielding deep in the leg side.
It's the sort of surface where you're always going to get something out of it as a seamer. Early on, thought perhaps just that sort of line and length with the ball just tailing away from the right-hander would have been very effective. Jofra Archer, of course, naturally gets the ball coming into the right-hander. And I think that's what we've seen in general with limited overs cricket in the last sort of 4 or 5 years, moving away from the traditional away swinger and more towards someone who can really tuck up batsmen on, especially as right-handers.
Something I always thought Andrew Flintoff did extremely well, just naturally, his natural shape with white ball certainly, a little bit red ball as well, but was to just nip it back. Flintoff had plenty of pace and aggression, heavy ball, and it would nip back at the right-handers and tuck you up. 85% on that length. Too many in the slot. Warren has been patient. Awarded with excellent figures, 1 for 8 with a maiden from 3 overs and 4 balls. I'm not overthinking it, he's just bashing away on that length. Fuller and driven into the hands of Denley at backward point. That's a very good catch.
Again, it's that change up in length, bowling back of a length, and then the one to just draw him into the stroke. It's a big wicket as well. Kevin O'Brien enticed into the stroke. And a nice catch from Joe Denley.
So So O'Brien goes for 4 and Ireland are 77 for 4.
Touch away from you. Yeah, that's it, that's leg.
Well, Ireland have lost 4 for 22 in 26 deliveries. Big wicket of Kevin O'Brien for 4. Gary Wilson now at the crease playing in his 100th ODI. Curran has a slip in place, a man on the drive offside. 77 for 4. So a big day for a number of cricketers in this game. 6 debuts. A long time ago that Gary Wilson made his debut. He was presented with his 100th cap by his captain William Porterfield. That's a lot of games and a lot of warm-ups.
Especially in this cold.
Yes, you've pinched Benedict's jacket, haven't you? You look like some librarian now.
Yeah, some socks. I just need something for my legs now. Last wicket to fall, Kevin O'Brien. Excellent from Tom Curran, just that length that he bowls, slightly pitched up. And the surface just comes off a little bit slower. Denley did the rest.
Both O'Brien and Tucker perhaps just guilty of playing a little bit too far out in front of themselves. That's the nature of the game when you're looking to drive, but you just got to be a wee bit careful on this surface. Just that little bit of tennis ball bounce. Paul Sterling's shots highlighting just what sort of nick he's in and what a talent he is, because he was able to hit the ball on the top of the bounce on this pitch, put Jofra Archer particularly under a bit of pressure. It's been very simple from Plunkett and Curran. Bash away back of a length.
You're right, Sterling showed a lot of patience. When he did get those deliveries, he put them away, but then he tried to put pressure on the bowler by coming out of his crease. Generally seen him move laterally. When I watch him in T20 cricket, he moves laterally to the offside and to the leg side and stays in his crease, but this time he was coming down. Just wonder if that might be a ploy at some stage for these two when they're a little bit more settled.
Sterling was trying to do. He was trying to knock Curran off his length. But if you look at the dismissals of Tucker, just a little bit too far out in front of himself, and again, not quite so bad for O'Brien. But pushing hard through the line, wait a little bit back. Just a little tricky when there is that little bit of slow extra bounce. It is all smiles for Curran, 2 for 8 from 4 overs with a maiden.
Off the mark, Gary Wilson in his 100th game. Didn't play against Afghanistan. something illness that affected his vision. Comes back in for this match.
That sounded a nasty one, that, didn't it?